In the next few lessons, we're going to be learning how to read a lead sheet, or some people refer to it as a chord chart. And basically what it is, they call it a lead sheet because it's kind of a lead for what the harmonic progression is and what you can play on guitar. It's not exact notes. It's basically just the chord names. So you might see this in a couple different ways. You might see lyrics on a page with chords above the lyrics, chord names above the lyrics. You might see actual music notation of the melody, which is usually what the singer is singing. And then you'll see the chords above the staff like that. And a couple different various ways of making a lead sheet. So obviously we can't teach every single song out there. So if you learn how to read a lead sheet, then you can look stuff up online. You can look up lead sheets and you'll know how to read them, and you can learn, whatever song you would like to learn. So let's get started. First, I got an example of a lead sheet with a part of Desperado from the Eagles. So let's take a look at this lead sheet. So here we have a lead sheet, a few bars from Desperado by the Eagles. And this lead sheet has the melody written in music notation, and the melody is the notes that the singer is typically singing. And then we have chord names above the staff. You see that there's D7, G, G7, C, C minor, and so on. So what we can gather from this so far is it's probably in the key of G, looks like. So we have a G, a C, and a D. Those are 1, 4, and 5 of the key of G. The time signature helps. So we know it's in 4/4. And just keep in mind that it's not really guitar music per se. It's a lead sheet. It's a guide. So basically, it gives you the chords. It doesn't give you chord or strumming patterns or anything like that. You kind of need to know how the song goes in your head, although you don't necessarily have to. You could get by and just kind of play chord notes through or come up with your own strumming pattern. But again, it's just a guide, so keep that in mind. So right away we see that we have a D7 at the top in the first bar. That's a pickup chord. It's not a full bar, so it's... So when we hit the G is the downbeat of the first full bar. So the D7 is where the vocal comes in, Desperado, and then we come in at the top. So we're going to be playing that D7 for the last half of the first bar. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, C minor. Okay, so up to there. So you can see the second bar, we have our G and our G7. Typically, when there's two chords in that bar, you're just going to divide it up equally among the beats. So let's review what we've done so far. So we have a D7 on the last two beats of our pickup bar. 1, 2, and then we have a G2, G7 for 2 beats, C for 2 beats, C minor for 2 beats. We have G for 2 beats, E minor 7 for 2 beats. Okay, that's what we've done so far. Now, the E minor 7, you don't necessarily have to play an E minor 7. You could just play, you can totally get by with a regular E minor chord there. And then going to the next bar, we have an A sus2. I don't necessarily like that chord, personally, for this song. I think that it sounds better to just play an A major chord. But it's all up to your ear, because these lead sheets are guides. They're not always exactly perfect when it comes to the chord being played. So from the top, D7 as our pickup note, G2, G7, C, C minor, G, E minor. We're going to go to an A, D7. Okay, now, the next bar we have, you see there, G again, G7, then C for 2 beats, C C minor for 2 beats, G for 2 beats, E minor 7, and then A, D, G. Okay, and you see there that the second to last bar the time signature changes from 4/4 to 2/4. So basically, you have to change those chords twice as fast. So that's why it sounded like it was changing through the chords quicker, because it was. So we got the last 3 bars there, going from the G to the E minor 7, and we have A, D, G. It's like a little turnaround that starts us back over. So that's another thing to be looking for in a lead sheet, is time signature changes. So that's basically it. We just followed through that entire lead sheet. Now, you can always change up the strumming pattern, and you don't just have to do, quarter notes like I'm doing. You could, once you get familiar with it, you can change it up. Okay, so that is our first example of a lead sheet and kind of how to approach it. So in the next lesson, we're going to take a look at a little bit different style of lead sheet.